In the previous session we've created our people IDO and the form over this. What we're going to do in this session is take that a little bit further and begin to add logic to our form using form script. So if I go into design mode on this form, I'm able to use the toolbox to drop a button onto the screen. The button itself, I'm going to give it a name and I'm going to call it show age button or show age BT. We normally provide a caption or a label for this. In this case I'm going to call it show age, and it is absolutely fine if you wish to type something in like that. However, if you prefer to have your string translatable and in the strings database, what we normally do is prefix with the lowercase s and then use camel case. Once we've got that, we can use the ellipses button to create or edit the string properties. Here there's one we produced earlier called show age, so we click OK, and now we have a translatable string label on screen for the button caption. Now in the events, we're going to create an event and we're going to call it show age. The event we're going to create needs an event handler, so we'll create a new one here of type form script method, and the parameters is the name of the function that we want to call in our form script. Now we can edit it directly from here, but what we would normally do is on our form use the edit form script button, which takes us straight into our form script designer. Now in here what we can do is create a public void function called age, again matching the signature that we defined when we specified our event handler. Now in here I'm going to paste in a function we prepared previously, which just gets the age and calculates that from date time difference. And then what I have to do is just plug that into my form. So in order to get the date of birth that I'm going to use to calculate the age, I need to begin by taking it as a string value, and I can get that from the current object property for the date of birth on the primary collection. So I say this form primary IDO collection get current object property, so that's the current object that's selected and shown on screen where we have the detail panel, and the one I'm going to take is the date of birth. So that's the property name that we defined earlier when we created our IDO. So now that I've got that, I need to convert it to a date time object, and I can just use a date time parse in this case for my DOB str. Okay, so that should give me the date of birth as a date time object. Once I've got that, I can use the application show message function to pop up a message dialog, and this is a fairly simple one. It just takes a string, so string format age is, and then I just need to calculate the age. So if I use the get age function that we defined earlier, then I need to provide a reference date time, so I'm going to use date time now and supply the date of birth as an additional parameter. So that's done. We're taking the date of birth as a string from the current object, we're passing that to a date time, and then we're performing a calculation on it and showing a message. So if I save this form and then run it, if we press the show age button, it's going to generate the show age event, which is going to initiate the show age message handler. That message handler is going to execute my function, which should pop up with the age. So we can now see that Jim is 50 and Dave is 31. So that's a fairly simple calculation followed by a pop-up window. You can of course write things back into IDOs, you can create new records, you can do lots of different things. However, I just wanted to show you the basics of how it's plugged together to go from a form into script and then back out to the form again, either as a pop-up message or as something else. Okay, thank you for watching.